Ever wonder why some people always seem to have amazing text conversations while yours fizzle out? Today, I'm going to share a game-changing strategy that's going to transform how you text. I call it the 3-to-1 response strategy, and it's helped thousands of people keep their conversations exciting and meaningful. Whether you're texting someone you just met or trying to maintain that spark with someone special, this is going to be a total game changer for you. Before we dive into the solution, let's talk about why texting can be so frustrating. We've all been there. You send a thoughtful message and get back a simple K or cool. It's like hitting a conversational brick wall. On the flip side, maybe you've caught yourself sending message after message, wondering if you're coming on too strong. Or that dreaded moment when your mind goes blank and you have no idea how to keep the conversation going naturally. And let's be honest, without seeing facial expressions or hearing tone of voice, it's so easy to misread situations and send the wrong signals. The 3-to-1 response strategy is a simple but powerful formula that transforms how you text. Think of it as a 3-layer sandwich that makes every message more engaging. First, you directly acknowledge what they've said. This shows you're actually listening and care about their message. If they tell you they had a rough day at work, you validate that experience. Next, you add your own perspective or related experience. This builds connection and shows vulnerability. Maybe you share a quick story about your own challenging work situation, but keep it brief and relevant. Finally, and this is the key, you ask an engaging question that naturally flows from the conversation. Not just, "How are you?" but something specific that shows genuine interest and gives them an easy way to respond. The question should feel natural, not like an interview. Let's break down each component of the perfect text response and see exactly how they work together. The first element is acknowledgement. It's the foundation of every great response. When they're excited, match their enthusiasm. When they're sharing something serious, respond with appropriate gravity. This emotional mirroring shows you're in tune with them. Using their own words or phrases shows you're paying attention and creates a sense of connection. It's like digital active listening. Make it clear that you get where they're coming from. A simple "that must have been tough" can go a long way. Next comes the personal connection. This is where you build real rapport. Share something that relates to their situation, but don't hijack the conversation. It should complement their story, not overshadow it. Don't be afraid to show real emotions. Use emojis thoughtfully to add tone and warmth to your messages. Keep your personal sharing brief. Think of it as adding seasoning to a dish. You want just enough to enhance the flavor without overwhelming it. Finally, we have the art of asking engaging questions. Avoid questions that can be answered with just yes or no. Instead, ask questions that invite stories and opinions. Base your questions on what they've shared. If they mention loving a particular movie, ask about their favorite scene and why it resonates with them. Make sure your questions don't require a huge effort to answer. The best questions are both interesting and easy to respond to. Let's look at some real-world examples to see the dramatic difference the 3-to-1 strategy makes in conversations. On the left, we have typical low-effort responses that kill conversations. On the right, we'll see how the same scenarios play out using our strategy. Look at this first example, just responding, "nice," to someone's promotion. It's technically positive, but it shows zero real engagement or interest. Here we see the classic "that sucks" response. While it acknowledges the negative feeling, it offers nothing to continue the conversation. And here's the dreaded closed-ended question that usually leads nowhere. It's slightly better than one-word responses, but still lacks personality and engagement. Now see how the 3-to-1 strategy transforms the promotion response. We acknowledge their success, share a personal connection, and ask about their future plans. It shows genuine interest and gives them an exciting topic to discuss. In this response to their rough day, we validate their feelings, offer a relatable personal insight, and ask a question that both shows care and opens up the conversation. For the restaurant example, we show interest, add our own context, and ask a specific question that makes them feel like an expert. This kind of response almost always gets an enthusiastic reply. Even when using the 3-to-1 strategy, there are some common pitfalls you'll want to avoid. I see this all the time. People get excited and send a barrage of questions. It feels like an interrogation. Stick to one clear, focused question per response. It makes it easier for them to engage and keeps the conversation flowing naturally. While sharing personal experiences is important, be careful not to turn every conversation into your own story time. Your experiences should complement their message, not overshadow it. Think of it as a ping-pong match. Keep the ball in play, don't hog it. Responses like, "That's cool," or "How are you?" are the death of good conversations. Be specific and ensure you're actually engaged with what they're saying. Instead of, "How was your weekend?" try, "Did you get to try that new hiking trail you mentioned?" While emojis and GIFs can add personality to your texts, overdoing it can make you seem immature or insincere. Use them strategically to enhance your message, not replace actual communication. Life gets busy, we all know that. But constantly leaving people on read or responding hours later without acknowledgement can damage trust. If you need time to respond, a quick "busy right now" will reply properly later. Works wonders. The 3-to-1 strategy is incredibly versatile, but there are certain situations where it's particularly powerful. This strategy is absolutely golden in the early stages of dating. It helps you avoid those awkward lulls and shows genuine interest without coming across as desperate. It's perfect for those crucial first few weeks when you're establishing a connection. When you notice a conversation starting to fade into one-word replies, the 3-to-1 approach can breathe new life into it. It's like having a conversational defibrillator in your pocket. Use it when things start going flat. For those deeper, more meaningful conversations about relationships, future plans, or personal values, this strategy helps maintain engagement while showing emotional intelligence and genuine care. Whether it's a potential romantic interest or just making new friends, this approach helps break through that initial awkwardness. It creates natural conversation flows that help you discover common ground. Even in established relationships, using this strategy during text conversations helps maintain that emotional connection. It shows your partner you're still invested in understanding and engaging with them, not just going through the motions. If there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be this golden rule of texting. Always make them feel like sharing with you is rewarding. This is the absolute core of successful texting. When someone shares something with you, whether it's a small daily update or a big life event, your response should make them glad they chose to share it with you. It's not just about getting replies, it's about creating an environment where they look forward to your responses and feel valued in the conversation. This is what transforms regular text exchanges into meaningful connections. Before we wrap up, let's cement the most important lessons from today's strategy. One thoughtful response using the 3-to-1 strategy is worth more than 20 generic messages. It's not about how much you text, but how meaningfully you engage. While this strategy provides a framework, your personality should still shine through. Don't just follow it mechanically, adapt it to your own style and voice. Make this approach your new normal. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, and the better your conversations will flow. Remember that not every message needs to be a deep conversation. Sometimes a simple emoji or quick acknowledgement is perfectly fine. We'll read the room and match the energy. Let's turn this knowledge into action with these specific steps you can take today. Start applying this strategy with friends or family where there's less pressure. It's like training wheels practice in a comfortable environment before using it in more important conversations. Look back at your recent text conversations. Identify moments where you could have used the 3-to-1 strategy. This awareness will help you spot opportunities in future conversations. Write down a few go-to questions and personal insights that align with common conversation topics. Having these ready will help you respond more naturally when you're just getting started. Decide when you'll be available for texting and stick to it. Quality responses require proper attention. It's better to wait and send a thoughtful message than to half-heartedly respond immediately. Keep track of how conversations evolve when you use this strategy. Notice which types of responses get the best engagement. Use these insights to refine your approach.